Welcome back, guys. Welcome to Catch a Vibe. It's your girl.
And your boy.
Oh, motherfucker. He came through. I was nervous. Thought it was going to just be your girl and then...
Crickets.
But no, thank you guys so much for tuning in and providing all the feedback and how things affected you. I love that it enlightened and we touched so many people with the last episode. I'm gonna be honest with you, we weren't sure how the episode was gonna connect, because when you start talking about, mental health and things that are a little bit more sensitive, you may lose people. But I will say that we gained people, and I'm just excited about all of that. Like, and shout out to my girl Natasha for coming through and definitely vibing with us, because without her, that episode wouldn't have been what it was. So shout out to my girl.
And you had people DM you, tell you they appreciate that episode.
Absolutely. People personally texting me about how it made them feel comfortable, like, with knowing that they're not alone. Because mental health is real, so I'm happy that we were able to touch some people. We're going to continue to do episodes like that, too. So every once in a while, I think every 4th or 5th episode, we're gonna try to bring you guys some realness, outside of just us. We want to have guests and stuff like that. So continue to tap in if you guys want to be a part of it. We have been able to reach enough subscribers to go live on YouTube, on our actual YouTube channel. So that's coming soon. So continue to follow us. Continue to let us know what you want us to talk about, because I think tonight's episode is being brought to you by the HGI. HGI, baby.
Yeah, let me tell people where I work at, man.
I didn't say nothing but HGI. Okay.
I wouldn't mind trying to pop up and getting free stuff.
Nah, but this episode is going to be brought to you by, like, someone had, talked to Keith about a topic that they wanted us to just kind of shed more light on.
Yeah, my boy Ian.
Shout out to Ian for letting us know, like, what the people want to talk about and we'll hear about, rather. But before we get into that, let's get into these drinks. So tonight's drink is brought to you by yours truly. So this is a little juice lemonade, I guess. I haven't come up with anything more creative than that, but just to let you know, this is some fresh watermelon, fresh strawberry that I actually muddled my damn self, juice, some strawberry lemonade, and topped with some blueberries. And my sugar rim is watermelon infused sugar. And then Keith has the same thing. He's just on the white version. He got Don Julio, but all the same ingredients. We here for it. And then the hookah accompaniment is mango and guava. Y'all know I love some fruits. But yeah, so let's get into it. What we talking about tonight? Because this one is the producer for tonight's episode.
Yo, I'm the producer, the cameraman. I did the makeup, wardrobe.
Not the makeup.
I'm doing lighting. I'm doing it all, man. You know what I'm saying?
Tyler Perry, little cousin and shit. Like,
Shout out to Big Unk.
I am done.
But yeah, man, shout out to Where's Jerry, fishing things on Sunday.
Absolutely, because I realized too that we do have a lot of supporters like that. I didn't even realize what's happening to us, but we have a lot of people that love us. I mean, there are some haters in the world too, but we have a lot of people that have tapped in, have subscribed, that have told their friends and another friend and this one. So I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that, my boy Jerry was putting us onto different things in the middle of a whole club hookah session.
In the middle of a hookah on a Sunday brunch at Fishing Things. If y'all been to Fishing Things, shout out to Fishing Things too, because the brunch be lit. Y'all was hopping yesterday. But yeah, so.
Yeah, so.
What we talking about tonight? What's
so the topic is. So I guess my boy Ant did a poll at his other job and asked the people what they wanted to hear about. And the one that came back that everybody wanted to hear was like longevity and relationships. So I think that's a good topic, man.
I think so too.
I think longevity, what it looks like to me is, I think longevity is the foundation of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think in order to have a strong foundation, you must first know yourself. Your first relationship that exists is the relationship with yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't present yourself as something if you don't know what yourself truly is.
Never. What about I don't know. I feel like too, how do you feel about parental influence having that effect on like how you know yourself and love yourself?
Hey, I think a lot of things outside yourself shape and mold who you are, right?
Absolutely.
But it ain't until you know yourself that you create yourself. Until you have like knowledge of self, meaning like you know who you are, what you want, where you're going. You know, it's your parents, it's your household, it's society that kind of shapes and molds your way of thinking. Until you have that moment where you realize, yo, something is off balance. What is that? And then until you dive deeper within yourself to realize, yo, this ain't even me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of outside influence, you can't call it substance. That's just what it is, influence. It ain't until you know yourself that it creates a substance. Everything else is artificial, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
But I guess that requires for me, like, right, so going below the surface, like you said, deep dive, how does one get to that point though? Like to like really know yourself? Yeah, because some people feel like, oh my God, I know me, but it's like, and then they still be doing shit and you be like, is that really you? Like,
first, man, when you really know yourself, you don't gotta tell nobody. You know how when you really know yourself is when people say you acted funny or you changed. That's because you no longer living up to nobody else's standards
or expectations,
or you're not following like no certain trends. You know what I mean? Like, yo, how I was a couple of years ago, I'm definitely not that person now. Why? Because I haven't found myself. Certain things happen in your life, I feel, that make you find yourself. Like, I think you could be a boy your whole life. I don't think age defines you as a man or a boy. I think that it's experiences. I think it's a time. I think you become a man when you find yourself. When you amplify all the planes that exist within yourself because of yourself. You know?
No, it's true though. I do have to agree with that. Because obviously if you don't know who you are, then if you don't know how to love on you, how can you have anyone else truly love you? If you don't even know what makes you thrive or whatever the case is.
So how do you start that process of knowing you?
But how do you do that if you're in a relationship? That's the thing. Because some people, because you feel like if you're in a relationship, now it's both of us together. How do you still hold who you are while still being a part of this team, right? Like,
yo, I did it. I was a street dude when I met you. I'm not a street dude no more, but what I realized though is this, man. I fell out of love with the streets, even though the streets is always the one thing I always could depend on. But what I realized, it's not the streets that I was attracted to. It was the persona of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, as you know, wherever we go, no matter what state we in, they always think I'm some type of trapper or something. Mm-hmm. So, it's just the persona.
Because when we was in DR, they thought he was one of them. They thought he was Rick Ross' little brother. The light-skinned version.
The beige one. His beige brother. Yo, but it's just the persona, like, you know what I mean? I think, like, you know what I mean? Like, being in the VIPs, the popping bottles, whenever we in a club, I think that's what I'm attracted. That's what I had to learn to separate the streets from the persona of it. You know what I mean? Like, I could work and pay taxes and all that, but still enjoy these things right here. Mm-hmm. But as far as like creating a longevity, I think like with me and you, I just think that it was just ultimatums, not even negative ones, but just things that make you look within yourself to be like, yo, if I continue to do this, I can lose this. You know what I mean? Like, now it becomes a situation where you sit back and think like, yo, is this worth indulging in to lose this? Like, can I replace this situation? You know, you start weighing the odds, and then that's when your past, that's when your past shit come in. Like, yo, I used to be messing with somebody that did or held me down way better than this person right here, and look what this person did. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's a chance that this could happen. So, you know what? Yo, I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing. But it ain't till like
But
it's
that's
not,
also
it's
not
never
taking the
peace.
risk, though. Yeah, because you're scared to. But I think with any relationship, love, or whatever the case is, it's all about taking the risk. The risk of, like, this may not be what I want it to be, but I'm going to go with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's showing signs of promising, right? Like, all right, he doing what I need him to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's growth in this situation.
Yeah,
But you got to take a risk, though, to be able to really understand that.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people don't. It's not like a lot of trusted situations. Like a lot of girls, they have their safety net. They got their safety dude. A lot of dudes go into relationships with their safety chick, just in case this relationship don't work. I know I still got her to fall back on. She like, yo, I know I still got him to fall back on.
That's real.
So already going in, the foundation is not sturdy.
So that in itself is not going to create longevity because it's an opportunistic. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You're
I don't
going
think,
into.
I don't
For
think
me,
it's that
it's
though. I just think
opportunistic.
you scared. I just think like, yo, I'm gonna speak for dudes, man. I just think it's a scary situation because what if it don't work out with me and this girl right here? Now what I'm supposed to do? You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the first dude to say it, man. I know a lot of dudes don't believe it, but a lot of dudes can't operate without women. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's the truth.
I know at least, I ain't even gonna hold you. I know at least in my situation, like I'll be needing some direction from you. So a lot of times, if that shit don't happen, if it don't work out, you know what I mean, then what? So dudes come into relationship with safety blankets. A lot of chicks do too. You know what I mean? So I
But
think
that's
that
like
affects,
a-
but
yeah.
then that's when the drama come in, because, yo, I might really want to be with you, even though I got this safety net. But let's say you don't got no safety net. But I'm comfortable with this, but I know it's not going nowhere. I really don't want to be here, but
I'm
I
scared to let go of
I'm
that.
exactly. So now I'm trying to build something with you. Now you see her calling me, you see her on my phone. Now off the rip, you don't trust me. So this is not gonna go nowhere with us because there's already trust issues. Or you may put me in a situation where it's like, yo, it's either her or me. But I know this though. I don't know where you go. It's good right now because it's the beginning. So now a lot of dudes be in situations to where, yo, like, do I throw my safety net away and risk it all for this? But then what if this shit go wrong? Now what am I gonna do?
But I feel like that's just the risk you take when you're trying to, if you
Now?
really are coming into a relationship and you really are wanting to have the longevity, like you have to be able to take that risk because none of us know what's gonna happen, right? Like,
Yo, but the way the world's set up right now, ain't no dude. I don't think too many dudes gonna take that risk though, because over here, I know I'm gonna eat. I know I'm gonna sleep. I know I ain't gotta worry about like trying to spend a whole bunch of money to impress you. I ain't gotta worry about all that shit because you know what the struggle is over here. Over here, I'm gonna try to wine and dine you.
So then men don't want.
No,
Men don't want
I
longevity.
think
They want it to be easy.
I think we want it. I think like, yo, if I could have a safety blanket, right, and deal with you, and then I really know like, all right, you know what, yo, she dope, like this is good. Then I'll feel more comfortable, like, yo, I'm straight over
But
here.
what's the timeline for that though? So how is
Oh, I don't
the
know.
person A over here supposed to just be okay with you?
No, I'm saying if you don't know though. I'm just saying like, say if you. I mean, I'm not saying you got to be aware of it, but if you don't, I think if dudes can enter a relationship with somebody, and they got their little chick over here on the side, right? I think after like a couple of months of being with you, they really get to see like, yo, nah, man, shorty really trying to invest in me. Like I'm okay right here, because you know, in the beginning, nobody show their real face though. It's in time, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So now I feel like, yo, you can dub that. Now you can invest everything into this new person. You know what I mean? But I think
females are a little bit different in a sense.
well,
too,
not
right?
nowadays. Females move worse than dudes now, though.
Well, I can speak for my generation of females, right? Like I feel like we are okay with, at least for myself, I was okay with leaving what I had to pursue you.
Yo, because you seen greatness, though, man. That's what I'm gonna give you, man. You seen greatness. You had a good vision plan from your. Yo, she had a good vision plan at her job, so she was able to see greatness.
Because the bubble is huge. Okay, like.
And I'm just saying, yeah, like I'm just keeping it real. You had a great medical plan.
I'm done with that.
You seen a great, you know what I mean? You had a great vision, man.
So
You
I
see
saw potential, yes. I think, and I'm just gonna speak for myself. Like I feel like I may have seen things in you that you didn't even see.
I agree.
So I
used to be
will say
shallow.
that.
I used to be shallow because I felt like, yo, I would give a chick, you know, like 5 minutes,
Shallow.
man. 5 minutes. A minute to take it all in because I'm a lot to take in.
A lot.
You know what I'm
See,
saying?
that's
I'm a
why
lot
I'm
to
drinking
take
browns
in, man.
now. Chicken
Let you embrace. I gotta let you embrace this, man. You know what I mean?
Shout out to who out there got a Leo? Cause pray for me, y'all. Cause y'all know
You gotta
these
embrace
Leos
it.
just be Lord Jesus.
But look at the longevity.
The Leos. God damn it.
How's that longevity taste though?
No, but what about like understanding each other, right? Like I feel like other
That's key.
things come into play to create. Cause you can create something, but it takes work to keep something.
You know, definitely, it's easy to destroy than build.
Absolutely. So I feel like things like love languages and understanding how a person really is going to receive love from you is highly important. Because just because you could feel like, oh my God, I do everything for her, like she should love me for A, B, C, and D, but on the flip side, she may not even be receiving it like that. Like, you know, some chicks are just like, don't buy me nothing. They rather have quality time or whatever the case is. So understanding your partner and being able to wholeheartedly communicate, and I mean get deep, like go below the surface. And
So you're comparing. Comparing is not will not contribute to longevity, right?
Comparing like two different people, or
Yeah, two
relationships?
different people,
No.
like females or relationships.
No, because your relationship is what you build it to be.
No, I'm saying like it's not. I'm saying like in the sense of this, like you know how like say me, I got a lot of sisters. You know what I mean? So I can come into a relationship and be like, yo, well, I know how women think. Man, I got like 6 sisters.
No, exactly. No, you can't. You have to take that person on the individual merits that you either know about them or what they're presenting to you, and make your own informed decision on this individual. Because no, like I don't have any siblings, but at the same time, like I can say like, hey, like I know dudes that appear to be like how you are. That doesn't mean that that's who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
so. That ain't fair to the individual,
I'm
and
a
that's
one-on-one.
and that's also not going to create longevity when you start comparing. Because all you're going to do is set yourself up for failure when this person doesn't deliver to your expectation. And that's why for me, in the beginning of a relationship, I've trained myself, I had trained myself to be like, I don't have any expectations. I want to see who this individual is. Show me who you are, and then I can be like, all right, this is what I expect. Yeah, this is when I start to be like, all right, this is what I want to see. This is what I need from you to be able to grow in this relationship. But because I feel like if you put expectations, that's when you create, you know, letdowns.
Yo, so I know you heard me say this a couple of times. I think like what a lot of females need to understand that as different stages. I think, yo, if you're looking for longevity, you got to understand the 3 stages of a person, right? And I told you this plenty of times. Like, you have the male, you have the boy, and you have the man. The male is just to separate the two, right? Between female,
you know,
genitalia.
Yeah.
The boy is any age. It can be any age. But you got a family of 4, he buying a 2-door. You know what I mean? A man, he's gonna get that caravan. He's gonna get that minivan. He don't care. But I think that dudes need to have a better understanding of women, and women need to have a better understanding of dudes. I think like yo, if you going off of perception, like for instance, somebody can see you in a club or something, like oh man, this dude got it. He's popping bottles, he's flashy, or whatever. You know what I mean? If that's the thing that attracts you, I think right away you set yourself up. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not gonna be talking to no chick that look crazy. Like looks do matter, but if it's the extra things though, like you know what I mean, that a person may be doing that make you gravitate towards that person, and I think that's what you're gonna base the foundation off of.
Well, what about perception to reality? Just because it may not be, people's perception is their true reality.
Yeah,
so like. Sometimes what we present ourselves to be is what people are going to perceive us, you know, even though that may not be, but I think that goes back to knowing who you are and knowing like auras and all that and all that energy, all of that is real, and like what you're giving off, you know, is what people are going to assume you to be, you know what I'm saying? So and I think it's the same thing in a relationship. Like,
do you think it need to be more like dialogue like in the beginning of relationships?
Oh God, yeah.
Like if somebody was to say like if we ain't know each other, that was like, who is, I'd like, meet you, like your name Asia, Keith, whatever, and I'm like, who are you? I don't think a lot of people know the answer to that.
And that's big. And that's part of the issue, like why people
There's
don't
no
have longevity.
Because you don't know who you are.
Or you can't articulate who you are. Because it could be an emotion, like I just know who I am. But it's a whole different ballgame when you have to use adjectives to properly describe who you are and to be able to articulate who you truly are. That is like to your point about knowing yourself and going below the surface with your own self. Because everybody's like, oh, I know who I am, but do you really? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's 3 things that would describe you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people can't even...
Or they stuck.
Or they giving you surface level things like, I'm a woman. We know that. You know what I'm saying? I get but I'm just saying, like, you could use something as shallow as that, but it takes a different type of person who is in tune with who they truly are to be able to articulate and have a conversation about that. And I do think that communication also fosters longevity. Because if we can't talk, and if I can't come to you when I'm upset about something that you've done, or you can't come to me and express I've done something to you, then what are we doing? Like, this is supposed to be the safe zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a team.
So I think that'd be a lot of problem too. Like, I think, like, yo, because you used to be bad at that, you know. Like, I'll come to you about something that's bothering me, and then you'll bring up something that happened last week. Yo, that's not what we're talking about. If it was bothering you last week, you should have brought it up. Right now, this moment, I'm expressing to you about something I don't like. Yo, let's handle that. Let's not bring up.
But let's just be real. Like, things trigger people, and a lot of people, and myself included, have gone through life suppressing things and suppressing, like, you know what, I'm just gonna move on from it. Like, I'm not gonna talk about it. Like, I'll get through it by myself. And that's part of just being like a loner in a sense, and being independent in a sense where sometimes it's too much independence. However, like, I feel like, yo, it's a perfect situation if we're bringing up, like, if I did something to you, I feel like it is perfect opportunity since we're talking. Like, well, since...
I know, but what I'm trying to tell you is, if I did something to you last week, right? Because once again, all this play a part in longevity because it's communicating. So if I did something to you last week, and for whatever reason you didn't want to address it, and you do something to me today, and I'm addressing it right there, it's about how I feel, and it's not about you, because now, like, you being selfish, you taking away from me, you know, voicing how I feel about a current situation, and you using something to overshadow it. So now, look, this is what happens. Instead of us addressing the issue at hand, you bringing up something up last week that affected you. Now we going back and forth, because now it turns into an argument versus you understanding why I feel how I feel in that moment. Now, if you'd addressed it me when you had your issue, there's no other topics. That's all we have to deal with is just that issue.
No, I can understand that.
And then, hold up, but then, now it makes a person not want to address any more issues. So now what happens? Now, it's different topics than communication. Communication covers a lot of things. So now, that takes away from me confronting issues when it comes to you. Now I don't want to confront issues because now I got to sit back on the bed and think about, did I do anything to make her mad within the last couple of weeks? So now what happens? Now I tuck my emotions now I tuck any issues that arise because of you, I tuck them away because why? I don't want to have no beefs. So this is how. So I think this causes a lot of, like, a breakdown in communication too with a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, address the issue. If you have an issue, yo, address it.
But what if that's not, again, like, what if that's not comfortable? Like, I don't know, I don't want to say comfortable, but, like, what if the individual didn't feel comfortable enough to address it with you when it happened? Or they gave you grace, and they're like, you know what, but now since we're talking about it, it's part of the conversation. Like, I apologize for what I did to you, but I also want to say, like, hey, like...
Yeah, but just think about that. Just think about that for a minute. If I'm coming to you with an issue that happened right now, you did something right now, and I'm bringing it up to you like, yo, why are you drinking out my glass, man? And then you be like, what you talking about? You ate off my plate 2 days ago. Now you're deflecting and trying to justify why it's okay for you to do this. When I did it, if it bothers you, you should have said something. So now we arguing. We ain't even talking about how I feel about the
No, I
situation
guess
I
I can
am.
understand that.
So,
I can understand that.
You know what I mean? So,
but I am guilty of doing that. I ain't even gonna lie. Like I do.
yeah, that's why I'm saying it right now because I got people to watch that can witness this. But
I do because I just feel like because if I don't come for you, don't come for me. But if you feel like you might be trying to come for me.
But see, that's the problem with a lot of relationships, yo. The fact that you feel I'm coming for you because I'm expressing how I feel about something you did that I agree with.
I think a lot of it requires tone, right? Tone and delivery matter.
But here's my rebuttal. If you know me, if you know the type of person I am, you know my tone isn't to be disrespectful. It's not meant to be offensive.
I can see that.
So you take it. So you know that's just
the perception is reality thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm perceiving it, or someone is perceiving it in a way that you're not intending.
Yeah, but you perceiving it on a shallow level. Now, if you know me on a deeper level, you know, I know he doesn't mean it this way. Cause I'm telling people at my job all the time. You know what I mean? Like, but if you know me, you know it's nothing disrespectful with me. I talk the way I talk because I need certain results. But if you really, like, y'all work with me, you see how hard I go for y'all, so you know it's no disrespect. So once again,
I can
that's,
see that.
Yeah, so that's the communication, you know what I mean?
No, I can see that. Now that we related it to something outside of it being a relationship, like, I could see, like, how that could be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's true. Communication is on many different levels. And within a relationship, there's always growth. Everybody's always growing and making sure that you are receptive to the other person's emotions and feelings and all of those things. So,
because I think that's what I think that
arguments start like that.
That's the basis of arguments. For like like a lot of times, I think dudes sweep shit a lot under the rug, but like when we do discuss something, you know what I mean? Like 9 out of 10 chicks is bringing up, well, you should have put the toilet seat down. Like, that's no. If you had an issue with that, you should address it then. Don't wait until now I bring something up for you to get petty, because now it's gonna snowball into a whole bunch of other unnecessary things.
Do you think there's such thing as like healthy arguing?
Yeah, I have them with you.
What you mean? I don't be arguing. I just be sitting back,
Yes, not lying.
No, it is a part of the longevity aspect. You got to be able to have, I won't even say arguments, disagreements. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone's human. Like, we're never going to agree on everything. But I think it's about what you say, how you say it, and the tone and delivery, right? And it's just like,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't agree with none of that, because how I talk is how I talk. But how you talk is how you talk. But I know there's no malice. I'm more concerned.
No, but if I was like, yo, fuck out of here, bitch ass, and like, come on now, like.
That's it. But now you're being disrespectful. You know what I mean? You're using
but if I'm saying like that's, if I'm like that's just how I talk,
but that's disrespectful. But I'm just saying, if there's a tone, like how I talk is how I talk, bad or happy. But what I'm saying is, there's the understanding that holds value, though. You know what I mean? I don't care about how you give me the message. I don't care about that, because I know you as a person. I know there's no malice in your heart for me. So however you say it, it's just hyper emotional. You know what I mean? If you loud or whatever, it's just a hyper emotion that you're expressing. So I get that. I'm more concerned about perceiving the understanding that you're projecting to make sure whatever the issue is,
it's fixed.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Understanding is understood. You know what I mean? So I think in order to have longevity, man, it's simple conversations like we're having currently that can get you across that threshold.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Everybody just accepting. So that once again, this is why it's roles. I feel like everybody.
I don't like the word roles, but I feel like everybody plays their part. Everybody plays
role
their
part. Yo, if you watch a play, it says roll apart. It does. It's the same shit, man.
I don't like certain words. So for me, yes, everybody plays their position to make this whole thing a success. For sure. But I just think like it takes time to you have to.
Yeah. Cause no matter
patient, you have to have compromise. There's a lot that goes into having a 10, 15, 20 year, relationship. You know, so
I just know what it is too. I think the key is no matter who you are. Whenever you start a relationship, every relationship start off of baggage, no matter what.
Whether it's emotional baggage or whatever.
Yeah, so you're always coming with baggage. So I think, in order to create a good foundation, You have to unpack it. If you a chick and you be like, yo, nah, I don't got no baggage, I know that's a problem. Because you have some type of emotional trauma, some type.
Yeah, we've all been through
it. Everybody have baggage, man. And I think that's what helps the building process, right? I would come with baggage, you come with baggage. It may not be like no baby father drama, baby mama drama, but emotional baggage. Mm-hmm. I think like when you sit down and you unpack it collectively,
absolutely.
Now I understand
it's
what
collectively part.
Yeah, I understand what your triggers are. Certain things you may be like, you know, when I was in this relationship, this would trigger me. Me, yo, I have abandonment issues, da 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 da. And you know, and from there, as you unpack this stuff, you get to learn more about each other. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of times we skip the learning each other.
That part, and just get into like, let's just do this.
Yeah, I think people skip over the learning and try to give 100% to a relationship, and then they wonder why like the shit's so shaky. It's because there was no understanding. Like it's knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You can't have understanding without knowledge and the wisdom aspect.
That part. There's levels. Like there's levels to it. Absolutely. That was deep though. So knowledge. What is it?
Knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
Absolutely. I can't agree.
Yo, because you know, like knowledge is the look, listen, observe, and respect. Wisdom is the words. Understanding is you understanding the process. You have to understand the process. Mm-hmm. Like everything is in stages. Like you got the sun, moon, and stars. Everything in threes. 1, 2, 3. Love, peace, and happiness. So it's like, yo, once you try to do 2 without the third, or you try to do 2 and 3, or 1 and 3 without doing 2. Like,
and we're live with Dr. Soto.
Hey man. Yeah, you know,
it was going. But I feel you though. No, it's 100%. It's 100% true. Like you definitely have. There's levels to these things. There's levels to a relationship.
You can't skip the process, yo.
You can't just be walking into it thinking like, you know what, I'm gonna have this fulfilling relationship and all these different things when you don't even know this person. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know who they truly are. You don't know a person. For me, I have a 6-month rule. You don't know a man from a female perspective until you hit at least 6 months. Because he could be hiding and disguising all the way into that time frame. But then 2, adaptive behavior has an expiration date.
Yo.
And who you naturally are is going to eventually come out. And you can only fake it to make it for so long. So it's like you have to understand who you truly are with. And to your point, going deeper and having, you know, levels to things and having insightful and intellectual conversation too. To really understand the person's thought process and like, you know what I'm saying? Because, and the things that they value, their morals, like all of those things come into play to create the foundation.
I agree.
And if you don't have it, it ain't gonna last. It's not gonna last. It's gonna give you an immediate gratification and that's it.
Yo, so I'll say something that now I thought was funny, but it made sense though. You will understand your relationship if you understand why does a round pizza go in a square box.
This might not be one of your dad jokes.
Why does a round pizza go in a square box, yo? See, now I'm gonna tell you, it's like a relationship, right? It's shallow to you, right? Mm-hmm. Why? Because it's something we used to say: a round pizza go in a square box. You never seen a round pizza in a round box. No. But if you look deeper, right? Like mathematically, if you look at it, a circle is 360 degrees. A box is a circle, just shaped differently. Each corner is 120. 4 times 120 is 360. It's gonna fit, yo. So just because we can be total opposites, it doesn't mean that we can't fit perfectly. You know what I'm saying?
Because we was not total opposites, but you know.
Yeah, but I'm saying you could come from
different walks of life and all of those different things.
Different understandings of life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's why I be like, y'all try to look at some things deeper, like how can this circle pizza fit in this square box? It's, even though they different, but the math is the same, yo. You can't get away from the math. One is 360, one is 360.
They're just shaped differently.
They just shaped differently, but they still fit perfectly, though. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, I want some pizza.
I want some too, if you mind. But
oh shit.
yo, but I say
Bad greedy.
yo, I say that to say, yo, you see, yo, I'm trying to give her some jewels of wisdom, and she's
I
thinking
got
about
hungry.
food.
I
think
was
that was like
like,
a good jewel I just gave you.
It was
yo.
a great jewel.
But
I'm
then
not.
now she over here wanting sausage and pepperonis and onions.
My stomach let it growling and shit. I was like,
Yo, but
Sonic Country.
man, oh, you gotta pick that up. I'll go
No, but it was definitely a good jewel because it definitely makes sense because at the end of the day, just because it may look different on the outside doesn't mean that it can't somehow still fit together and make a perfect situation.
Yeah,
and that's what I think happens, right? To create longevity. It is usually two individuals that both are different but still desire to have the same thing. And that's what creates longevity from our point of view. And I don't know. We got 10 years in, so shit.
We got
almost 11. August 9th, y'all, I met him, and it's about to be.
Yo, we all can have the same destination, man, but we all travel different highways to get there.
Different journey.
You know
Absolutely, the path is.
You take 84 to get to Buckland Mall. I'll take 91. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the
get there.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, man. But it's also about just being patient, man. You know, like if you know you want to be with somebody long term, man, sometimes you gotta compromise who you are.
That part.
In a good way. You compromise, it doesn't mean you making yourself less than a man.
No, or less than a woman. Like you're just understanding that at the end of the day, to make this work.
It's a compromising. Once you've grown, man, compromising is nurturing. It's a nurturing process.
It can help you as an individual because you can then in that same moment figure out something about yourself that you didn't even know because you were compromising and it could be something that's like you want to do something I don't want to do, but I do it and I can have an amazing time. But if I didn't compromise, I would have never even had the experience. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely, it takes. So for I guess to kind of wrap this up, communication,
key,
compromise,
key.
What else did we say? Understanding, and I think those are the top three that kind of give you. And really just sitting down and unpacking all the emotional or whatever you may feel is baggage. Just put it on the table, man. You know what I'm saying? Know who you are, right? I think we talked about this.
Definitely know who you are. Truly who you are. Know yourself.
And know what you desire. Put expectations on things, and it's okay to have requirements, right, to some degree. But also know that it may not all happen like that, and be okay with the risk that you're taking. You know what I'm saying? And
discuss things at that time,
in
because
the moment.
Yeah, man. If it's my moment to get something off my chest, it's my moment. Don't bring up things that you was dealing with because now it overshadows how I feel, and now I start feeling like you think how you feel is more important than how I feel. Now something simple turns into a big argument.
Having compassion for your spouse, or whatever the case is important, and not forgetting that we all have feelings. We all have feelings, and we all, to your point, want to be heard. That's, I think, what it boils down to.
Yeah,
like, when I'm coming to you, I want you to hear what I'm saying, and I want you to hear it without bias. I want you to hear it without judgment. I want you to hear it without anger. Just to your point, receive how I feel, and let it go.
Man, that's it, man.
And I think those are like the true kind of like ingredients to the recipe.
Especially because you know it's especially if you know the person, you know it's no malice. It ain't about the tone they're using. As long as there's no disrespectful adjectives or anything like that.
Yeah, don't call them a bitch ass.
Because you know the person, yo. You know what I mean? So you know they ain't
don't be using no derogatory terminology.
Yeah, but you know they ain't trying to belittle you, man. Just look at it as a very emotional about whatever the situation is. Sit back, understand it, and figure out what's the best way to move, man. And I'm telling you, longevity will be there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Please let us know, like, whatever else, like, this was, like, somebody wanted us to talk about this, and we down to talk about pretty much anything. So, whatever you want to hear.
And everybody that keep running up on me like, yo, y'all need to keep dropping. Yo, executive produced this once again.
This episode.
Yo, listen, man, I control the lighting. Look, I control the lighting, you feel me? I'm a dimmer, man, all that, man.
He did this time, right? I'm just gonna give him
I do
credit.
makeup. Look, I'm doing makeup, all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Watch the credits.
But no, please tap in, DM, let us know what you want to hear. We're gonna start to get back on our regularly scheduled programs like every single week. I don't want to give y'all a day. Just
Yo,
because,
look,
like,
see, but here we go. Communication, right? Because Friday she's going to she's stepping
that's
out.
what I'm saying. Like,
And then Saturday we going to the all white in New Haven.
I might vlog though for that. We might give
yeah,
y'all.
that'd be dope.
We might have to give y'all
Yeah,
get
man.
ready. We might have to give y'all get ready because.
Give y'all a piece of heaven.
Yes, we might have to give y'all.
Hey, yo,
give y'all
before,
get ready.
before we go, I told this girl, I was like, yeah, I'm going to all white, right? Yo, the chick looked at me and said, Keith, but you're black. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? She said, you're going to all white. That's so racist. I was like, yo, it's the attire, man. What are you talking about? But anyway, man.
I can't. People are crazy. But no, tap in, let us know, like I said, and we appreciate y'all. We really, really do. And we out, baby.